everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Transparent Homeschool. My name is Beth and I homeschool two kiddos, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. We just finished up a couple of days ago our first year of homeschooling. Woohoo! So my son just completed his kindergarten year. We have been planning for next year, his first grade year, for a couple of weeks now, and I do have all of my materials that we're going to use, and I'd like to share them with you. Before I get started, though, I want to say that when my husband and I started our homeschool journey last summer, we were kind of trying to navigate our teaching style and what we kind of wanted from homeschool or our curriculum. And we landed on the classical method of education. And I will say, now having gone through a whole year of using the classical method, it was not a good fit for me as a homeschooling parent. It just didn't work out. And that's not a bad thing. Classical education is great, and I think there's a lot of worth in there, and there are parents who do align with that teaching method. For me, it just didn't work. And I kind of touched on that with my other video where we talked about the my end of school year review. So if you're interested in what I had to say about our curriculum, which was Memoria Press, hop on over and listen to that. So what we did end up doing was kind of this mad search for different kinds of curriculum, now knowing what we didn't like from our previous language arts and things like that. And so I went on a mad search for a good language arts program, and I came across this other channel. It's called Grace and Grit, and the mom's name is Ashley, and she is so great. She has lots of wonderful tips on homeschooling, and she does a lot of other videos too. And so I suggest, if you are also a new homeschooling parent, to hop over and listen to her. She has lots of good advice as well. So I'm going to link her channel down below in the description, because I think it's really, it's a good place for more knowledge. But she was actually the one who introduced me to The Good and the Beautiful, and I had never heard of The Good and the Beautiful before, and so that's kind of what we chose for language arts and some other things. But I'll show you those as we are going through kind of my not unboxing, basically just what we chose for next year. So I have all of my stuff kind of just spread out here, and so we're just going to get started and let that be that. So, as I stated in my morning basket video, we do have an older version here of the Sunlight History, Bible, and Literature Level A Intro to World Cultures. As you can see back here, I'm packing up all of our homeschool stuff because we are moving in a couple of weeks. And so for this coming school year, we had to be really tight on our budget because of the move. And so most of my materials that I have here are not brand new. They are secondhand. But I think they work just as easily. So what I did was, when I bought this, it did come in the big blue binder. The big blue binder and I did not work out. We weren't friends. So I took this and I got it bound and put a plastic sheet over it and a plastic sheet on the back. And this makes me much more happy. So this is the 2011 edition. So all of the read alouds come from the 2011 edition. I did go online and make like a comparison chart of the books that are different from here than the newest edition. And there's actually not that much new books that they put on there. There are a few, and I did purchase those as well. So I purchased all of the books in this level, or core. That's how dated it is, because it's not called core anymore. But in the Intro to World Cultures, I did buy all of the books from this list and the new list, the ones that were not on here. And maybe we can use those as like summer reading or something. So We are going to be using Sunlight for history, Bible, and literature. And then I'll go over my other choices as we go along. So for history, they have, well, I'll do read alouds first because everything's kind of just in this box here. So we have Cappy Boppy, A Fly Went By, Big Ball of String, Put Me in the Zoo, No Children, No Pets, Winnie the Pooh, Boxcar Children, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, In Grandma's Attic, 5 True Dog Stories, The 100 Dresses, My Father's Dragon, The Best Trick, Dr. Dolittle, Mary on Horseback, The Family Under the Bridge, Dolphin Adventure, The Story About Ping, Here's a Penny, Out of Darkness, Little Bear, Balto, The House at Pooh Corner, A Grain of Rice, Dolphin Treasure, The Apple and the Arrow, Richard Scarry's Please and Thank You book, least of all, The Light at Turn Rock, 20 and 10, Mother Goose. Again, this is not the edition that they suggest in the manual, but again, just for money, this was super cheap. But again, I figured Mother Goose rhymes are the same, and so we chose that. The Llama Who Had No Pajama, Johnny Appleseed, and James Herriot's Treasury for Children. I cannot wait to read this book, guys. It's so cute. Well, it looks super cute. It has a couple different stories in it, but everything is so gorgeously illustrated. I cannot wait. And I'm assuming that the stories are going to be just as beautiful as the illustrations. So I'm really excited to start reading this. So that's it for the read aloud portion. That was like the chapter books, the readers, and the poetry like component to the history, Bible, literature. So on to the history. The other thing about like buying everything secondhand and separately is that I didn't have to buy seconds of some things. I kind of did have a few books that were on the list that I didn't have to buy again. And one of them was the Usborne's Children Encyclopedia. I just had this from a book party that I went to. So you're going to be using that, Living Long Ago, and Wild Places. So this is kind of like a geography thing where you talk about like mountains and jungles and deserts and things like that. So that's going to be interesting. And then the other part of the history is this book here, I Heard Good News Today, and this is basically just historical missionary tales. And so another thing is that my husband and I read through some of these stories, and while they're super rich and important for children to understand as far as like missionary work, I think that's incredibly important. We decided that this year is probably not the best to introduce that kind of concept to him. Again, that was just our choice. I know lots of people who have read not this particular book, but the missionary stories that come with the Sunlight curriculum to their children, and it's fine, but we just decided as our family that it probably wasn't the best. Again, this is the book that comes with the 2011 edition of Intro to World Cultures, and so the version that's out now has different. It's not the same. So we are going to use this at some point because, again, I do think it's very important to introduce that concept of missionary work, but just not right now. So whenever in the manual, whenever a selection is read from here, what we decided to do was buy this book, and it's basically a devotion, and it goes through different. There's 100 like devotions in here, and they're just 2 pages, but it goes through a whole bunch of different science topics, and it bridges the gap between science and religion and kind of eliminates that notion that science and religion like don't work together. This describes it in a really easy way that says, yes, actually they do work together quite well. So that's what we're going to be using instead of that. Along with the history portion of the Intro to World Cultures, when I was on the website looking at like the book list, something did catch my eye, and it was this history project kit. And so I went ahead and I bought it. And in here, it comes with this like sheet where it talks about like the week that you're going to do it with the new edition, and then like the topic that you cover, and like notes and the activity. What I did was make sure that all the projects that they have here are still applicable with the older version that I have, and they are. The weeks are different, that they're assigned, so I just had to go and reassign the weeks that you do the projects, but they all fit, and I'm so excited to include that in the curriculum this year, or next year. I am going to do a separate video about this, because I haven't really looked at it too much. I basically just opened the box to make sure all of the things were there. So I will do a separate video just on this history kit. And then for Bible, we are going to be using the Storybook Bible that I talk about pretty much every video that I do. So I'm not going to show it here because you pick a video and you can see my Storybook Bible that I chose. So I'm not going to do that. But we are going to alternate between... we are going to read the Story Bible every day, and then we're going to alternate between this book, the questions about Jesus, and then the Children's Book of Virtues. And we're just going to read it kind of like straight through. So with the big blue binder that we bought secondhand came the level 1 language arts program. Now, as I was kind of doing research on language arts, I did hear a few people that say that they weren't crazy about the language arts program from Sunlight. So I do have it here. Again, I went through this and I wasn't crazy about it. I kind of agree with the other people. I'm sure it's a perfectly good program, and your children will learn phonics and they will learn their language arts with this program. Again, for me, as the teacher, it just didn't seem like a good fit. I am going to keep this, maybe for like busy work or review. I don't see us using it that much, but I am going to keep it just as an extra resource. So we just finished everything with Sunlight, and now we're going to move on to language arts. As I stated before, we're going to be doing The Good and the Beautiful for language arts. And again, Ashley from Grace and Grit really helped me to kind of make this choice. She had a lot of good advice. And so again, if you're looking for a language arts program, try your hardest to, to keep an open mind about The Good and the Beautiful. So when you get your box, you open it up and it's bubble wrapped. It comes in this big plastic bag, and this is what you get. So first you get your reader that the kids use, and I will probably do a separate video also of this curriculum too, like a more intense flip through. You get phonics cards and these phonics cards are for level K, level 1, level 2, so they travel with you. You get mini books that you have to assemble yourself, and you cut and you staple, so it's not that hard. And then you get the course book. Now, one of the things that drew me to this course book was, one, it's super colorful, and there's art in here, so you do get a little bit of art appreciation, and so you don't have to include that as part of your curriculum. But the other thing, there's two things. Number one, if you can see down here, it includes all of these things in this course book. So again, you don't have to include art appreciation. You don't have to talk about grammar and punctuation separately. It's all in this course book that you do. The second thing that drew me to this curriculum was coming from Memoria Press, everything built on each other. And so on Monday you did this worksheet, and on Tuesday you did this worksheet, and they built on each other. But not only were you doing one worksheet from this book, you were doing 2 worksheets from another book, and so it was just a lot to do in one day. And we got really frustrated having to do all of this stuff in one day. It took me almost 3 quarters to realize that I didn't have to do everything that they suggested. But it was a challenge to get to that point. In the very beginning, about how to use this curriculum, it tells you to do this book for 30 minutes, and that's it. So instead of lesson 1 on Monday, lesson 2 on Tuesday, you do 30 minutes, you stop where you are, and you pick up on Tuesday where you left off. And to me, that is so freeing and just so liberating from a schedule that was a huge plus for me. The other thing I'm going to just really quickly say about this is that these books did say kindergarten, and this is level K, and my son will be in 1st grade. The language arts program for the Good and the Beautiful does not follow, level K is not kindergarten. Level 1 is not necessarily 1st grade. There's an assessment on the website that you should take, and it kind of helps you to realize where your child should start as far as the language arts programs. So again, go on the website and take the assessment, and everything is right there for you to help you make your choice on which one to do. For math, as I stated, we are going to go with Right Start Math again. Again, this was secondhand, and so this is the teacher's manual, and this is the workbook. This is very gently used. In fact, it's almost brand new, so it's kind of brand new to there are a few pencil marks in here, but nothing that I can't erase. And then the previous owner was so nice to print out all of the appendix pages for me, so that cuts down on my workload, which I appreciate. So whoever you are, thank you so much for doing that. And then for handwriting, we did level A from the Good and the Beautiful. And again, my son has pretty good handwriting, but I just need to have him practice. And you can color pages at the end of your lesson or draw pictures, so I think he'll really enjoy that. On to science. So before I kind of decided that I was going to do a Good and the Beautiful science unit, we are going to do one, I had already purchased part of our science program. So this is our human body science unit that we're going to do. This is from the website called Teachers Pay Teachers. And the lady who put this together, her name is Stephanie Trapp. And her blog is called Primary Theme Park. And so I'll link that down below as well. But it goes through the different systems. And she does a super awesome job with bringing together different kinds of activities for the kids to do. So there's books and there's videos to watch. So this is like Bones. And so she just brings together a really nice collection of activities. There's crafts to do. There is handwriting activities to do. Comprehension activities to do. And then, again, videos, handwriting, math. So, everything is here, and it's so nicely put together. And then again with the Usborne books, I am going to be reading these 2 books along with that, just to kind of get a better understanding. Lastly, I have the safety unit from The Good and the Beautiful for Science, and it doesn't come like this. It comes in a like loose leaf paper in a packet. So I laminated the front and then got it bound. And then along with it comes all of these cutouts, and so I did that as well to prepare. So that's my curriculum choice video for the 2019-2020 school year. That's really weird to say, but so again, I will do kind of some separate videos about different components of my curriculum choice to go in depth a little bit more. But thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.